Hello, everybody. Gbenga Olatunji here. So, we'll quickly take a look at how organizations should manage their products, especially for our exam purpose. If we are asked, how should organizations manage their product portfolio strategically using BCG matrix? And this is a rounding up series in the series of competitive forces. So we had 3 lectures ahead of this video. So should you be watching this video, please, there are 3 other videos that have gone ahead. Please listen to them, and we are going to put the notification on this video to direct your attention to them too. Okay, so for product categorization, cash cow, as we can see on the quadrant, it has high market share but low market growth. So it's in a market that is not that growing, but is a market leader. The product is a market leader. So this tells us that the product has reached maturity. Most likely the market in which the product is to has reached maturity. So for exam purpose, this should come to our mind first. Then we must advise, or we could advise, that the organization should try and defend the position of its cash cow in the market. That is, we should maintain the market share that we have. Also, we should limit, or the organization should limit, the spendings on research and development, because the market is not that growing again, and we have had our fair share in the market. So the cash generated from cash cow now, we can use it to develop other products, which in the nearest future too will become a star for us and a cash cow. So that should be what should come to our mind for cash cow. So for question mark, how should we answer question mark if we are asked, how can an organization manage cash cow? Cash cow is in a position of high growth but low market share. So cash cow is in a market in which it has propensity to grow or is growing, but the product itself did not have much patronage. It has low market share, and that is why we usually call question mark problem child. So what should we do? The product will need a lot of new investment in form of cash. We need to pump out cash into question mark, and the strategic choice is between investing a lot of cash to boost the market share, or we could decide to leave the market by abandoning and discontinue the production of the question mark. For star products, they usually have high experience. That is, they have high market share and high market growth, just as we can see in the quadrant. Let me bold in the quadrant so that we can see. So can we see the quadrant now? So the star product is in a market that is growing seriously, and it has its own good number of patronage in form of market share. So a star products are cash cow of the future. So they will soon be bringing enough money for us in the nearest future. So it's a good product to have a star. Also, an entity should market a star products aggressively so that we can continue to maintain and increase our market share. A large continuing investment in new equipment or R&D, that is research and development, will be good too to properly position the star product. Cash cow can finance their development by themselves too. And star is the next cash cow of the future. Star should at some stage generate enough cash for themselves. They are self-sustaining. So we are not thinking about we want to discontinue cash cow or a star rather, but we should at a stage we can have to pump some amount or reasonable amount of cash to sustain its position through R&D. But at a point, star will ensure their own survival, sustenance, and they are our cash cow in the nearest future. The dogs. How should we advise? Should exam question come out like that? How should organizations strategically manage dogs? Dogs will experience low market growth and low market share. So, unlike star that has higher experience, dogs will have low experience, just as we can see in the quadrant. So, how should we manage dogs? Dogs can generate some cash for the business. And if they do, it might be too early to abandon the product. That's if dogs actually have some cash coming in. The product dog has a limited future, just as we can imagine. It has low market growth, and even for now, its market share is very poor. So strategic decision should focus on the short term now. Should we discontinue it, or should we continue to produce dog, maybe as a loss leader? In some situations, it's possible that company may not discontinue a dog, maybe because it has been a prominent product before and now is facing declining, but it's a product through which the organization is well known. So discontinuing and removing such a product from the market can have adverse effects on the publicity of the organization as a whole. So then they can decide to continue to produce it as a loss leader. If not, they should just discontinue. So let us consider the weakness of BCG as a model. The criticism of BCG. BCG, like in the previous video, I told us that it has like arbitrary conclusion using 10%, that any product that performs above 10%, maybe in market share or is experienced in market growth, is okay. If not, it's not okay. It's an arbitrary figure on which they base this model. That is one of the criticism. Another criticism is because the BCG model believes that if an organization or a product in the market will not have a high market share, it doesn't stand the test of time. And we know that this may not be true in absolute, even though that is the position the model is taking. But we know it may not be accurate. And this is another criticism about the BCG. Just as we know, an organization can decide to continue to produce dogs that has low market share and low market growth, but despite they believe in the product because it has exposed them to the world and they do not want to discontinue it, but they take the position of producing it as a loss leader. So it's good for them. So but when BCG absolutely say that okay, such a product will not survive, may not be too accurate, and this is one of the criticism. Another criticism for BCG. Also, if we look at BCG, we'll ask ourselves, okay, really competitiveness, but there are some products that we cannot really say this is their competitor. A product can have a strong competition position in its market, even with a low market share. Competitive strength can be provided by factors such as a product quality, brand name, or even reputation, like Porsche, the vehicle, like Lamborghini of this world. They do not have high market share, but despite they are still in existence and they are doing very well because they have a niche on its own, and within their own niche and this market segment they are doing well, and the market segment is not that large, but they are okay with it. So if BCG now take an absolute stand that without high market share an organization or a product will not survive, that may not be true, and that's another weakness or criticism of BCG. A company may benefit from investing in an industry or market where sales growth is low. It's possible. It's possible, like that of the Lamborghini that I gave, or even Porsche, or all these exotic cars producers. Other factors apart from market share and market size will influence what a company should do with a product. That is, strength of competition, like the competitive rivalry that we've spoken about. So all these factors and many more could affect the BCG stand. It might be difficult to define what a market really is. Don't forget, when we are defining an industry, a market is within an industry, and even within the market, a market can be fragmented or even segmented. So it's a bit difficult to define a market in absolute, not to talk of the market share. There might be a problem with defining the geographical area of the market too. A market might be defined in terms of a single country, region, international, or even a global market. So which of the types of market is BCG really focusing on? Also, another criticism, it might also be difficult to define which products are competing with each product, like even in the vehicle industry, Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, and so on. If we say they are competing, then is SUV competing with the normal car? So what is it the brand that is competing or their product that is competing? So we can conclude that it might be that BCG is better for analyzing the performance of strategic business units and market segments. It is not so a bit of useful for analyzing entire market, that is a broader market, which might consist of many different market segments. Let us move on to SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is another useful tool that we can use. SWOT analysis is a technique for identifying key factors that might affect business strategy. The key factors that may affect our strategy, that is our competitiveness. Of course, SWOT analysis is a very simple tool, but it's, at the same time, it's effective. It's effective. SWOT analysis is very effective if we dig deep into what we should actually analyze about using SWOT analysis. And when we want to use SWOT analysis, it simply means S stands for the strength, W stands for weakness, O stand for opportunity, while T stand for the threat. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So we say, okay, what are our strengths? Probably in form of natural resources. It could be the strength, know-how, good employee, and the like may be our strength. So we must target it and know how we are going to use those strengths very well to maximize our competitiveness and competitive advantage against our competitor. Weakness. What are our weaknesses? We must be sincere with ourselves as an organization when we want to identify our weaknesses. In which area are we weak? You see, customer loyalty. You see, employee technical know-how. You see, lack of enough resources and the like. We must be able to know what are our weaknesses and make a checklist of them. Then what are our opportunity or the opportunities within our market segment, within our industry, even as organization? We must scan through our external environment that might be exploited, and we take our strategic advantage of the opportunity around us, maybe within our niche, the fragmented market that we want to serve, and the like. Also, threats. What are the threats, especially externally, that could threaten our survival? Maybe political upheaval, change of government, change of regulation, regulators' instability or insensitivity that may have adverse risk for the future prospect of our organization. So this is the summary of SWOT analysis. And when we want to use SWOT analysis, we need to make a checklist of all these strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats. A long list, a sincere list of what our strengths and our weaknesses are in the organization. So Gbenga Olatunji, I've been talking from GJAMES Associates. We are value to your life, value to your business. Click the notification button, subscribe to us, like us, engage with us, comment, and let's see how we can make this video and tutorial freely better for everybody. And now we are coming to the conclusion on competitive forces, and we'll be moving on into internal analysis. So we'll see you next time. Internal analysis will be looked at.